So this is really going to be the last video that I'm going to freestyle. It's going to be the last video before we're going to start live stream on Tuesday. Now, I know I've been saying many times, I'm back, but literally it took us a long time. We got a brand new studio, which is not this one, but we've got a brand new studio. We're going to move into Monday. We signed the deal, we signed the contract, right? So we're gonna have a studio in the middle of Annecy where we can be doing some proper live streaming. Just remember, the future live streamings are only going to be for the sexy looking people.
This dance ain't for everybody, only the sexy people.
Which reminds me, we need to start this little show of ours. And what are we gonna start with? Well, we are gonna start with, as always, what is the level of market manipulation? And here we are, we have me here in the middle. And you know what? Market manipulation. Now, if you follow this channel, and in case you haven't done so far, well, then I invite you to subscribe, hit them goodies, smash and like and subscribe and the bell button as well. Because we all know that if there's one channel that's been talking about market manipulation, well, it probably is me. Now, I've never been able to define it as good as the Forbes report did. And I gotta tell you guys, you better head over to Bitcoin Bureau and listen to his last report. There was a video here 2 or 3 days ago where he's talking about the level of market manipulation. So, of course, just have a quick look at what is really going on, because this is why we are here, right? And we haven't been looking at the charts. Right now, we're looking at the 15-minute. We're looking at Bitcoin at 20,000. We're looking at Cardano at 48. I mean, 48, isn't that? That's kind of like we were when, before I went off to moving country from Ukraine to Viva la France. Viva la Macron. And that's all I got to say about that. Now let's look at the level of market manipulation. So we got Ethereum here at 1,455, and we got Polkadot where we are trying to connect the dots at $7. I think actually Polkadot has gone down a little. Well, anyway, next week we will have time to look at that more in depth. But so we have Saturday night live. It's not really going to be live when you're going to be looking at it. So look at this. We got BTC USDT, and we are looking at the 7-day moving average. What is this here? What this looks a little. So we can say when we look at the daily 7-day moving average, it's going down, but we never look at the. Let's just move. Did it just move while we were looking at it? I mean, are the mouses on the screen? Now we're looking at the weekly, so we can see something changed. Yeah. Anyway, if we look at it here, we can see that 7-day moving average. I mean, did you just see that? Something is happening here. Look at that purple thing there. I don't know what that means. So we're well below the 7-day moving average when we scroll out, right? Well below. Let's go and look at Ethereum. Ethereum here, we look like we are also below the 7-day moving average, which probably means that we could head lower. But what does this all mean in the country of Viva la France and market manipulation? Let's go and have a little quick chit chat about that, right? Because I think it is important. I have always mentioned market manipulation, and I'm so happy that Forbes and Coin Bureau, they're coming out and actually are putting it in writing, because who believes me? In the end of the day, I don't know shit about crypto. But when we look also at Tino, Trader's Reality, right? He's always talking about the market makers, right? The market makers, the people, the force, the guardians that are making the market. They're always telling you to go in the one direction or the other direction in order to enrich themselves. I have tried on my own little way, on my, different way, in trying to show you that when I buy or when I sell, Kitty's position, remember, I don't own nothing. I don't own anything, and I'm pretty happy. No, when I either sell or when I buy for Kitty, I have shown you that, it almost looks like we are whales, right? I mean, I can make the candlesticks really push up or down, and the amount of money that we put in, are not that big. Now, maybe Kitty is a whale if you look at it on a broad sense, but she has so many positions that you wouldn't particularly call her a BTC whale, or you wouldn't call her a ETH whale, right? And so when we diversify it across so many positions, as you know, that we have, it should not make a spike neither up nor down. So you need to be careful. So what are we learning from this market volatility, which is also market manipulation? Or volatility and market manipulation are two different things. But when you have a certain amount of market manipulation, obviously that increases the market volatility. And when we talk about market volatility, this is why I'm telling you need to be careful, because cryptocurrencies, if they are being really manipulated, that means that there are a force behind that will, push the prices either higher or lower. That increases the volatility, and this is why we are seeing this volatile market. Now, I've been trying to pursue this, market manipulation, but it is difficult to pursue. But that's why I always told you, or when I made these flash crash live streams, was when we were seeing the market in the weekend, preferably on a Saturday or Sunday, when China was sleeping, the United States of America was sleeping, Europe was sleeping, and it was weekend, as I just said. Then we would always see similar patterns as we are seeing here. Let me just take you to this other screen. Boom. Let me put myself down in the corner, right? Probably, boom, I'm here. And now we're looking at current market cap. And now what we're seeing today is, if we look at the 24-hour different changes, we can see the Bitcoin is down 1.5%. Let's just say 1%. Ethereum, up 1.5%. Ethereum up 1%. Binance up 1%. And then we got XRP. What a shitcoin. Actually doesn't really belong there, because that is being so heavily market manipulated that we're just going to take it away. Boom. And update it out of here. So then we got Cardano up 4%, Solana almost 3%, 3% to Doge, 3% to Polkadot. Then we got Polygon Matic, 1.8%, is in line with Ethereum, 1%. Then we got Avalanche, 2%, 2 Uniswap, 4 Chainlink, 7 Stellar, 3 Kronos, Bitcoin, 2. So we got Terra Classic, which, is not really in line with the overall market. So what you're basically seeing here, we're seeing the entire market up. It's all up between 1% up to actually 4%. We're seeing a little bit difference here with Compound. And so maybe today is not the best example, but if you follow this channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? We can see LiveP up 1.2%, and Serum up 2%, 2% to Storj, Audius 2%, 3% Moonbeam, Seacoin, we don't take that into consideration, Scale up 2%, and then SushiSwap up 2.9%. You see, in a normal market where really supply and demand, and where individual coins, or for that matter, if we compare to the traditional stock market, where individual stocks, actually they should be driven by fundamentals like earnings, right? Fundamentals like, launching a new product, or the CEO, he was out drunk, having some hanky-panky with some fine-looking ladies from the titty bar around the corner from Kakadu, right? That would impact the prices. But here we are really seeing a correlation that has so many times on our streams really proven that the cryptocurrency market is still highly manipulated. So I guess I was able to prove my point, and I hope that with this report, please go in and read the Forbes report. Please go in and watch the Coin Bureau video. But as I've said many times, if you follow this video, you know that this is things that we've been following. Now let's move on to some geopolitical news, because this week we have had the Shanghai Corporation Organization meeting, and we do know that Sleepy Uncle Joe and many others of the Western media, they pretend that the SCO doesn't exist. I called up Joe yesterday and I said, hey, what do you think about the Shanghai Corporation Organization?
I have no idea.
I love him. As always, he has no idea, right? But maybe Joe doesn't have an idea, but we are. Before we just move on to the SCO news, I can tell you we are seeing troubling news. We are seeing more war ahead because it seems to me that the United States of America have just passed a bill that is going to actually support Taiwan. They're going to support Taiwan just as they have been supporting Ukraine. And if we go in and we look at the world map for a minute, you will see that in the, in we zoom out, we will see that where America is, and then we will see where Ukraine is, we will see where Russia is, and then we will see that America is pretty far away from, geographically at least, for wanting to support the soul brothers of Ukraine. And then we have this little piece in between Russia and Ukraine, the Donbass region. There's going to be a dispute, and nevertheless, America is supporting Ukraine because they're the brothers in arms, the brothers in need. But now when we switch over to another part of the world, we can see that America is now supporting another, let's say, potential superpower. If we're looking at the superpowers, I would say obviously America is the first superpower, but China is on its way. Don't underestimate Russia. Russia has never lost if you go back in history. And India is also on its way, right? So we look at America. Why would they now support a local war in Europe where they could have the potential, or let's say not the potential, where they are actually engaging in a proxy war with Russia? Now they want to do the same in Taiwan. And if we scale and look at this world map and we look at China and we look at how small Taiwan is, but when we actually look at the proximity to how close Taiwan is to China, I think we would all agree that if you and we were China, we could simply not accept that America, being the largest superpower in the world, would come and establish a military base right in front of our, let's say, shore. So I think that there are troubles ahead, and I want you to take that into consideration. But let's now go in and just look at this recent summary report of what happened this week at the SCO. And here we are. In case you can't find me, I'm right down here in the corner. So after the Shanghai Organization Summit, let's see some of the highlights, right? And I think it is important to point out that the Chinese President Xi Jinping and the Russian President Vladimir Putin, they have been reaffirming at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit that their determination to confront what they see as the desire of the West. So basically, they see the West having a desire which is being led by the United States to continue its hegemony. I can't really pronounce that word. Hegemony over the rest of the world. But don't underestimate, just because I can't pronounce the word hegemony, I am pretty good informed when it comes to geopolitics. Look at those fine looking individuals. There's even one with a COVID mask. So what they're basically saying is as Washington, they celebrated the first anniversary of the establishment of the tripartite AUKUS alliance with Britain and Australia. The presidents, however, on the other side of the world, China and Russia, they held their important meeting. They held their important meetings on the sidelines of the SCO Summit. But to be honest, I'm just going to read it out because it will go quicker, right? So the meeting of the two presidents in Samarkand, Uzbekistan, was on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, came at a time when the world is, and I truly believe that we are witnessing confusion and dangerous geostrategic situations from its lands and receiving advanced American and Western equipment. And when we talk about the lands that are receiving that, well, it is Ukraine and it is now going to be Taiwan, just a recent bill passed by the Senate in the United States. So in Southeast Asia, the Sino-American differences increased, and they have been severely tense after the White House, old lady Nancy Pelosi, she went to the island of Taiwan. And since then, we have obviously seen China increasing their military activities. But what is much more scary is that the United States have now passed a bill in order to support military support for Taiwan. just like they did to the Soul Brothers in Ukraine. I think we got to cut it here, right? This video has already went on too long. So today we focused really not on an individual crypto. We focused on the level of market manipulation. I think now we got it confirmed. It is, however, not all bad news. You see, I don't believe that these are just small individuals manipulating the market. It is actually the big fish, big whales setting up the future of finance. And in order to set up the future of finance and in order to attract mainstream, in order to attract full-scale mass adoption, you need to have a market working. At least like it looks like it's working. So I wouldn't necessarily condemn this as the end of crypto. In fact, I would condemn this as the beginning of the future of finance. When it comes to geopolitics, whoa, so much more to speak about, and we will speak about this next week. So all I gotta say on this before we end this little stream of ours is, I hope you appreciate what I do, and I hope you have invested as I have done. Because again, with this new article about market manipulation, it just goes to show that there is no one better than I am. My name is Nico Harachi, and I am number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's young, he's handsome, he's a prophet, he's a poet. They know it. I must be the greatest. I told the world.